Hello YouTube, Damien Jones here again. Today we're going to be taking, or should I say early hours of this morning, because it is the early hours of the morning, it's very late here. Today we're going to be taking a look at these. I've got a big job lot bag of vintage Action Force figures. Now, I remember these as a lad, and when I saw these come up on auction I thought to myself, well, I haven't seen them in so many bloody years. I thought, well, let's do it, let's have them. So here they are. Tip the bag out and we'll go through them together. Now, this one, I remember him because I remember having him as a kid. He was like a spaceman one. Sorry about the light in here, by the way, folks. It's early hours of the morning and the lighting's quite poor in my room, you know, energy saving light bulb and all that gumph. So we'll just do the best we can. Do you remember having this one as a kid? Yeah, these Action Force, they took over. They were by Palitoy, and they took over from, you know, the vintage Action Man, the 12-inch figures with cloth clothing. They started making these little ones. I forget what the name of the space ones were. But I do remember having this figure quite distinctively. I remember the orange and blue and the bright colours. My mother often used to get me these as a substitute if they didn't have the Star Wars figure that I wanted that weekend. I'm going to just go through the pile and see if I remember any of the names. If I don't, maybe you can help me out in the comments. Now, I remember this fella. This, I believe, is Baron Ironblood, I think. He's got a very faint, I don't know if it's going to pick up on the camera in this light, but he's got a very faint skull and crossbone on his chest, but it's wore away. Yeah, he was a bit like a German, but not a German, if you know what I mean. And you notice he was the one that created some of the creatures that Z-Force, they were the army version, had to destroy. You notice in the faces they've all got the little Action Man scar on them, and they all look like scaled down versions of the Eagle Eyes figures. That's him. Do you remember having this one as a kid? My brother used to like these. I was more into Star Wars, but I had quite a few of these as well. Who we got next? Oh, this is one of Baron Ironblood's goons. I forget what these things were called. They're basically like, again, they're like some kind of German. They're definitely stormtroopers, aren't they? They're definitely Nazi stormtroopers, but that have been made into robots. I mean, they've even got the gas mask, which is a German gas mask on the back, and other than this little bit on the back here, this little robotic thing, the helmet, although it's red, is basically a stormtrooper's helmet, as is the uniform. I'll say I've got him a few times actually. One of them things. Yeah, got another one. Now this one's not so good condition. He's one of his eyes have worn off. They all look like they're about to have a drink. But it's of course the way they hold the rifles that they would have once had. And also notice they're actually carrying German stick grenades. They basically are German stormtroopers figures that have been cast in red rather than grey, and they've just changed the head sculpt a bit. They've even got an eagle insignia on the chest. Got that one. We've got this other one. He's in lovely condition. You can really see the skull and crossbone on his helmet there. Nice figure. Then of course there was Z-Force. again, which basically just look like an Action Man paratrooper. These aren't 12 inches, as you can guess. These are just like 3 3/4 inches. You know, like Star Wars figures that they were knocking out at the time as well. Nice camouflage detail on him. Now, I'm trying to think, this guy's got a name. He's basically the head of Z-Force. See the little Z on the side. I think it's Captain Nick Campbell, or Captain something Campbell. The Z's worn off on that side, but originally it would have had the Z's on like that. So Captain Campbell anyway. We've got some more Z-Force ones. We've got this chap with like a beanie on his head and some grenades. He's got a green top on and camo trousers and a bandola, an ammunition bandola. Very nice. And we've got this chap. I don't know what his name is, but I do remember him. I remember my brother having him when I was a kid. He had a little green, like, peak cap on, if I remember correctly. So you can definitely see the face there. That's definitely Action Man's face on a smaller scale, with a little scar. They all look the same. They all look like they're each other's brother. I've got another Z-Force who's got like a waterproof cover over a peak cap, and the Z's still there on him, both sides, very nice condition. Don't remember his name. I don't remember half of the names of them, to be honest with you. I just remember like Z-Force and the SAS. And I've got loads of SAS ones here in a minute. I just hope they're going to pick up on camera with it being so dark in here. But before that, I've got this guy. I can't remember what force he was from, but he's sort of like in desert gear. See that? Maybe one of you guys out there know who that one is. It's in nice condition. I've given these all a wash. They had all like they had all like mildew all over them, but they've cleaned up quite nicely. So that's him. And then we've got some SAS ones. We've got this guy, who's obviously an SAS pilot. I'll try and hold this up so we can see it a bit better, because I've got a black cover on the bed there. Very nice. He's got elastic band holding this on. I've got him a few times over. There he is again. And I've got him one more time, but he's a factory fault, and it's a really hilarious one. They've gone and please focus. They've gone and stamped where his eye paint should be, where his eyebrows are, so he looks like he's got blank eyes and like eye makeup on or something. Let's see if you can see that in the light. I don't know if that's going to focus. To say the light in here is appalling at the minute. Well, that's him. And then I've got this SAS Frogman. I remember having this one as a kid, and also I remember they had this same figure in a bright yellow like suit, and he was a member of Q-Force. I remember that because I had like a hovercraft of Q-Force I used to play with in the bath when I was very little, and And we've got an SAS Commander, looking very much like the ones, and see it's got the SAS on it. Both sides on that one, they're usually worn off, but this one isn't. I say the SAS, they went and rescued and sorted out the problems at the, what was it now? I was only a kid at the time. The Iranian embassy, didn't they? And then of course there was the film SAS, Who Dares Wins, and basically the SAS were featured in lots of kids' toys as a result, because they were very popular all of a sudden in the media. They used to have SAS Action Men, and obviously after they finished them they had SAS Action Force like this. And I remember the Airfix models as well. They did a lot of SAS there as well. So we got him. And we've got this other SAS chap. I can't remember what his name was. Very nice. And we've got another one similar to him, but he's not quite the same. As I say, I'm sure all these figures had names once, but as far as I'm concerned, they've been forgotten in the sands of time. So if you recognise any of these figures, give us a shout out in the comments below and let me know. That's him. And then another SAS Commander. This one, the decals have worn off, but you get the idea. And finally, another SAS Commander. So bear with me. I mean, we got 1, 2, 3 SAS Commanders, which aren't picking up very well. 1, 2, 3 SAS pilots, 2 other commandos that I can't remember the name of, and Frogman. 3 of these Nazi robot things, which will be Baron Ironblood's goons, and we've got him as well here, again in the black. We've got one of the space ones. As I say, if anyone can remind me what the name of the Space Force was with Action Force, give us a shout out in the comments, because it's been so long. And also this guy as well, sort of like a desert force. I don't know exactly what it was called, but give us a shout out. And then of course we got Captain, whatever his name is, Campbell's Z-Force folk here. And that is it, guys. A big job lot of vintage Action Force from the 1980s. And, it's just a trip down memory lane, isn't it, at the end of the day? I mean, everybody collects Star Wars, don't they? More or less, if you're born in the late 70s and 80s. But not many people collect these, unfortunately. It's a shame, because they're rather good, really. They're quite nice models. Anyway, there we go. A vintage Action Force job lot of figures. On my next video, we'll be restoring, as I have all the parts I need now to do it, we'll be restoring a Palitoy Vintage Action Man Talking Commander Eagle Eyes version from 1984. I'll be restoring that with you, and I'll be doing some other Action Man restorations as well. So I hope you can join me for that. In the meantime, this is Action Force. I'm Damien Jones. Please subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye.